Welcome everyone again. My name is Jake Barnes. I am joined with Bruce Anderson, President and CEO of Mineral Resources International, and Val Anderson, Vice President of Mineral Resources International. Now, there's a lot of talk about drinking water for your health, but not many people drink it in terms of saving the planet and helping the environment. So let's get right into that. Bruce and Val, we all know that single-use bottled mineral water bottles cause a massive environmental impact. Bruce, can you speak on how that impact is, or if you have any stats to support that?
Well, thank you for having us back again, Jake. This is a really great topic, and it's one of the big ways that we describe how our products can help make the very best water in 4 ways. And the 4th way is supporting the environment and being friendly to the environment. So I really appreciate the question.
Sure.
And what we want to accomplish as a company is to actually help families to be able to make choices that are really good for the earth. And when I say that, let's talk about bottled water. Bottled water produces some of the most amount of waste through the plastic bottles of almost anything on the earth. EarthDay.org talks about millions of tons of plastic waste, not only in our landfills, but ending up in the oceans, microplastics. It's a huge problem all around. And the fact of making the plastic bottles requires a huge amount of energy, and then disposing of them. So you think about the whole process of all that extra packaging, and it really amounts to a lot of strain on the earth and a lot of environmental impact. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is the fact that we help you make the very best water at home. So it's the best quality. You don't have to sacrifice the quality. Make the very best water at home. Purify your water, then add the best minerals. But then you drink it there. You drink it when you go somewhere. You're not asking people to send you bottled water from Tahiti or from France. Make it at the location. When you think about water, it's one of the heaviest things there is to ship. Water is extremely heavy. And when you're shipping water across the ocean, it's just a huge amount of handling. So in addition to the waste reduction by making your water at home, you save all of the extra petroleum and fuel required to bring bottled water to the store near you.
Well, thank you for putting that into perspective. It can be a little frightening and alarming to hear those sorts of statistics, but that's also great that you have an at-home solution to be able to address that. Val, I do have another question though regarding sustainability. How does Mineral Resources International prioritize sustainability as a company itself?
Well, as a company that is very dependent on an all-natural resource, we really care about our stewardship. We do all-natural harvesting. We are actually a fairly small harvesting operation on the Great Salt Lake that is producing the highest quality, highest value product of anybody producing minerals on the Great Salt Lake. And we're not kicking back chemicals. We're not doing some chemical process or whatever. It's a solar evaporation process. And we are taking the premium product out of the lake with minimal environmental impact. And we get our minerals from places where it's actually quite isolated from the population centers around the lake to help us get a very clean and a very pure product. And we do what we can as well to support a number of the environmental groups that really care about the Great Salt Lake and are helping to protect it as well, and have agreements with other companies to do what we can to minimize the impact and to help preserve this extremely important natural resource.
That's great. I want to dive a little further into something you mentioned. You talked about how your company is a smaller business. When you compare it to the larger ones, would you say that buying from the local business, Mineral Resources International, that in and of itself helps the environment versus saying buying from a massive corporation that dredges the lake?
Well, yeah, I mean, we actually care about keeping the lake long term. You know, there was research done on family businesses and some of the things that make them more successful. A lot of times people talk about the things that are struggles for family businesses, but one of the things that makes a number of family businesses extremely successful is how we view success. Family businesses, so if you think a normal business, a regular corporation, a long-term plan is 5 years. A family business, a long-term plan is multi-generations. And so we do tend to think very long-term. I'm the second generation in the business, and we have third generation, quite a few third-generation family members working daily in the business. We're thinking long-term about our impact, and we want to make sure that this resource is around in a healthy, clean, sustainable way, very long-term.
That's great. You know, I hadn't considered that portion of it, what is considered long-term, 5 years or decades. So I appreciate that that's where Mineral Resources prioritizes.
Jake, a follow-up
Please.
on something that you mentioned, that we're local. We are a global company, so we ship our products all around the world.
Okay.
So we actually ship products too, but instead of shipping a gallon of water, we're asking people to, or let's say a liter, since we're talking international, right? So instead of shipping a liter of water, we're asking people to purify their liter of water and then put 2 milliliters inside. So we're just shipping 2 milliliters instead of an entire liter to get the highest quality. So even though we are shipping product all over the world and we are a global company, it's 2 milliliters compared to over 3,700 milliliters shipping. So that's really the difference. Purify your water locally, then add the minerals in a concentrated form, and that's where you're seeing the savings on fuel and packaging.
Amazing. Do either of you have anything else to add to this conversation?
One other thought just about purifying the water at home. Really, when we send our bulk ingredients out, it allows companies to standardize their water.
Oh.
So I remember years ago an old beer company commercial, and it talked about it's the water and a lot more. And the kind of water that you put into many different types of foods and beverages can make a big difference on the overall quality of the product. So we can actually, purify the water locally, add the minerals back in to make the highest quality water, but do it in an environmentally friendly way.
Amazing. Val, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I think Bruce covered it.
So as you know, we are all trying to be more hydrated. We're trying to get our health better. It's a struggle for all of us, but it doesn't have to be. Make hydration enjoyable and help the planet at the same exact time.